Okay, it's on. It's on now.
Thank you.
Okay, it's on now. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Payment of bills, resolution number 25-213, authorized payment of bills April 8th, 2025 to May 5th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call or discussion?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. PSA for May 5th, 2025, primary election date change. Please note the primary election will now be held Tuesday, June 10th. All voting takes place at Town Hall. Hours are 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Scout Troop 321B and 321G and Cub Pack 228 will be giving out American flags along with VFW Post 6192 on May 20th and 21st, 5 to 7 p.m. in front of Town Hall in the Circle on Pascack Road. The New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission Inspection Unit will be at the Bethany Community Center on Thursday, May 15th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please note, this is for vehicle inspection only. Registration is required. Please visit our website for further details. The New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission Mobile Unit will be at the Bethany Community Center on June 2nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please visit the website for more details. There are currently no available appointments. Appointments are not necessary for surrendering license plates, handicap, veteran, or Purple Heart placards, or the purchase of red GDL decals. The Kiwanis Club of the Pascack Valley meets on the second Wednesday of each month at 6:30 p.m. at the Westwood Community Center. If anyone would like more information, please contact Paul Ralph Garduli at 516-581-8319 or pascackvalleykiwanis@gmail.com. Our next council meeting will be held on Monday, May 19, 2025 at 7 p.m. Thank you. At this time, we will have a recognition for the NJCDCA Small Division State Championship and NJDCA Group 2 State Championship cheerleaders. Victoria Gemke, varsity cheerleading coach, Gabrielle Rivers, assistant varsity cheering coach. So the following girls participated on February 23rd for the NJCDCA Group 2 State Championship: Charlie DeMarco, Emma DePaolo, Gwen Gaub, Jamie Prezia, Mariah Hernandez, Adriana DeNoble, Erin Riley, Gianna Segro, Kendall Dempsey, Brooke Hornridge, Maya Morgan, Jaden Farrell, Luciana Folaya, Aaliyah Terabaki, sorry I butchered your name, Aaliyah, and Ava Magnifico. So we have a resolution tonight. The certificate is proudly presented to the Westwood High School competition cheerleading team. On Sunday, February 23, 2025, the team won the NJCDCA Small Division State Championship and the NJCDCA Group 2 State Championship. Their coaches are extremely proud of them for putting in the time and working extremely hard this season. Proudly presented this 5th day of May 2025, Mayor Peter Calamari, Council President Michael DeSena, Council Vice President Stephen Casio, Councilman Thomas Sears and Michael Ullman, and Councilwoman Daisy Velez. Congratulations, girls. Who's going to accept the...
Why don't you girls come up and if you want to have a group picture taken?
Peter, you want to take
Smile. Like to come in a little.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't we get a cheer? We get a cheer? One quick cheer. One quick cheer.
Yes, goodbye.
Simple. They ready to wife? Go fight, fight, fight.
You girls excused if you want to leave. I know you have better things than be here at our council meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
At this time, we will have a presentation from the Township of Washington Public Library. Mrs. Rifkin, the director, if you want to come and sit around the table, I don't know if you.
Well, you can
It would be
cheer
too loud in
if
here.
you don't mind.
It'd be too.
Come up with something at the last minute for me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
And yourself?
This is good, thank you. This is just our recap from the 2024 year. I know you guys have a full docket, so I'll kind of try to go through quickly. Under usage, library card holders were up about 2%. We had a new 91 residents sign up for library cards in 2024, bringing our total to 5,006 residents with library cards. Program attendance in person was 7,306, up 4% from the previous year. Virtual program attendance was down to 7,458, but brought us a total between the two of 14,764 attendance at our library programs. Circulation, we did have that closure between June and October for our renovation, so please keep that in mind as we're kind of going through the numbers. Circulation was down slightly, about 12,000, 9% from the previous year, bringing our total circulation to 119,994 items. During the closure for renovation, we did still have our locker system available for part of it. Homebound delivery was still in use, and whenever we were in the building, permitted in the building safely, we did do curbside pickup for residents as well. Detailed circulation breakdown, young adult and adult materials contributed 24,715 items. Children's was our biggest hit due to the closure. We were down to 25,531. Our electronic was 69,748.
What does,
In-branch
Excuse
service.
me.
Yes.
what is electronic circulation? What
So
is-
that's our Hoopla, anything that you're borrowing. So whether it's a streaming video, ebook, or audiobook. So usually it's our Hoopla, anything that you're downloading on your Kindles, Libby and Overdrive, things like that.
Thank you.
Of course. Door count, again, because of the closure, we were down about 15%, dropped about 10,000 people. Reference questions did go up, and this is not counting all the reference questions we got about what hours we were going to be open. These are legitimate reference questions that we got. Those were up about 3%.
And you did close, was it June, July?
June, July, August,
Yeah,
part of
so it was your-
September, part of
It was your
October.
hottest month to have it open.
It was brutal.
So-
It was
Yeah, so it's
we-
totally.
Don't remind her.
it was slightly
No,
scarred
it's
on
not
the-
like
No.
it truly shows
It
the
shows.
value of the library during those months.
Lend and send. So lend are the items that other libraries lend to our resident, that we lend to other libraries. Borrowed are the ones that we borrow from other libraries for our residents. So sending out was down about 25%, again, because we didn't have access to our collection for a portion of time. Borrowing from other libraries was up about 4%. Same reason. In 2024, building improvements include we replaced windows in our story time room. We added additional shelving to expand the collection in the young adult room, added additional shelving to expand the collection in the adult collection. We included a new projector screen in our program room. We added on the ornamental grasses to block the mall parking lot. And we had a new ADA entrance and ramp that was both town and grant funded, as well as the parking lot redone and an additional handicapped space included on that. Web services. Web services include databases, computer sessions, and Wi-Fi sessions. Database sessions went up about 25%. Computer sessions only went up about 3%. That's in-person terminal usage. Our Wi-Fi sessions went up 135%. Even during our closure, Wi-Fi was still accessible on our outside, so we were able to still operate Wi-Fi services. That includes any time that you are using your laptop in the library, as well as any phone usage where you're actually doing research on your phone. This includes World Book Online, BrainFuse, Help Now, Vet Now, Job Now, Ancestry.com, Fold3, Mango Languages, Wall Street Journal, Old Yoga, US Major Dailies, all sorts of different reference points.
Laura, why do you think it went up so much from 6,000 to 14 on the Wi-Fi sessions?
Part of it is that we upgraded the Wi-Fi system at the very end of 2023.
Okay.
So we included new Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the building, which expanded the signal range. So I think we picked up more than we usually had been before.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And then on the last page, I did include a visual for everybody. I know that Ricky's going to put it on the TV station as well. And just a quick statement that the library extends its great thanks to the Bergen County Development Grant, as well as the Township of Washington for their funding assistance in 2024. The funds provided our residents with a new ADA accessible entrance, a freshly paved parking lot, and an additional handicap designated parking spot at our library. We also did move the locker system, pickup locker system, into underneath that awning so that people are not getting wet or having snow issues accessing that. Any questions? Yes, sir.
On page 1, the usage,
Mhm.
is there anything that you could call out regarding the virtual programs? You know, understanding coming out of COVID, there was a decline.
Mhm.
Last year, we saw an increase and then a decrease.
I think it's starting to even out because we dropped further in 2023. We were up in 2022, then we were up in 2023. I think it's starting to even out. People who are like real hardcore virtual program users have stayed the whole time. Sometimes we get hits as far, like all over. It's because it's global. So I think we're starting to really kind of navigate just to our Pascack Valley area as well. Some of it has changed. We did a lot of programming around, there's different things that people have trends with. It's kind of like the ocean. There's waves with different stuff. So for a long time, we had food relating programs we'd have 400 hits on one video. That's starting to get more like under 100 right now. So we're trying to find new little trends that people are getting into. Our takeaway programs are very big hits. We're not seeing as many huge attendance on musicals, which we used to have before, whether it's jazz, classical, rock, whatever it is. We used to have 150 people. We're starting to see a decline there, but having a huge number of people come to the mozzarella making class or the tiling class, more hands-on fiber arts kind of stuff. So we're increasing that instead. There's always a certain amount of transition when it comes to programming, and I think virtual is starting to see the same.
And then, aside from funding, is there anything that the council can assist the library with in terms of, your?
Thank you very much. No, I appreciate it so much. The biggest thing we can do is just continue to get the word out about library services and being library advocates. We are restarting our Friends of the Library group. We have a new Friends president starting up. We have a meet and greet with her this Saturday from 11 to 1, if anybody is available. They're going to be starting a whole new fundraising endeavor. They've been fundraising right now for a saltwater fish tank in the library. We've had a number of corporate donors assist us with that. The biggest thing is to keep people drawing in. We do a lot of children's programming. We do a lot of family programming to continue to have people recognize all the different resources that we give. So the more you can draw people, make sure your library cards are active. We appreciate it all. Thank you.
Mike, may I just make a quick?
Sure.
Laura, I want to thank you and your staff and my fellow board members for all the progress you've made through the years. You brought it a long way, especially I look at program attendance numbers. To me, that means, you're doing the right programs to draw people into the library. That means a lot. So you and your staff, should be commended for that. So thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone. Report of the administrator.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, Council. Good evening, everyone. This is my resident council question follow-up from the meeting on April 7th. There was one resident council question. It was pertaining to the grant writer, David Puno, who was requested to look for any grants regarding the redirecting of airplane flight.
Mr. DeCarlo, hold on. Library board, you don't have to stay here. You can be excused. Since I excused the cheerleaders, you wanted to be part of the cheerleaders, you're more than welcome to be excused. But thank you for everything you do. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. DeCarlo. They're staying.
Grant writer David Buno was requested to look for any grants regarding the redirecting of airplane flight patterns. As far as council questions or concerns, Councilman Sears reported that there are numerous parking violations occurring at the shopping center. Chief Calamari was informed of Mr. Sears' complaint on the evening of April 7th, 2025. Chief Calamari advised that patrol supervisors were reminded to prioritize parking enforcement at the shopping center. Additionally, Chief Calamari was pleased to report that the SLEO 1 officers recently graduated from the academy class and will begin field training. Parking enforcement will be an assignment given to the SLEO 1 officers. At the April 7, 2025 council meeting, administration updated the council on the condition of the library roof and the need to make repairs. Administration would like to use existing funded capital funds and go out to bid for a roofing contractor. Council President DeSena requested that we obtain the opinion from our architect as to the best material to use for the repair, asphalt or metal roof. The shingle roof on the library is 23 years old, and they have had several leaks that have cost $12,685.04 in repairs. I spoke to our architect, Anthony Iavino, in order to receive his review and opinion on the best product to use on the sloped library roof. Mr. Iavino believes that the asphalt and metal seam roofing are both excellent products. Mr. Iavino stated the cost of the metal roof will be 2 to 3 times that of the shingles. Administration is recommending the asphalt shingles. Numerous updates to advise everyone of. A reminder to residents regarding the property tax reassessment. Appraisal Systems will be posting the locations of inspections on their website, www.asinj.com. You may also visit the website for information pertaining to the reassessment. A total of 1,569 residential properties have been visited, which is approximated at 46.5% of all residential properties. The current entry rate is 60%, which is about 628 estimates/refusals. 100% of commercial properties have been visited. Income and expenses statements, Chapter 91 forms, for all commercial properties are being prepped and mailed via certified mail by ASI no later than April 25th, 2025. Progress is on track for timely completion. Once all initial visits are completed, a follow-up letter will be mailed to all residential no access/estimate/refusal properties indicating we have been unable to gain interior access and give it a second go. Recreation Superintendent Dan Scudieri and I visited all 4 recreation fields to assess them for the start of the sports season. The mayor and I are very proud to report that Mr. Scudieri has done a terrific job with the infield rehabilitation project, the revitalization of our batting cages, and the replacement of playground equipment at Gardner Field. We also want to recognize the terrific job the DPW has done getting the playgrounds and fields ready for nice weather. Other than some cosmetic work to be done at the rec fields and facilities, they're in great shape. Thank you to Mr. Scudieri and the DPW. We have begun our 2025 MEL Employment Liability Best Practices Program. In order to maintain compliance with the program, administration will be working on updating our policies and procedures manual and employee handbook to align with the municipal excess liability latest revisions, recommendations, and requirements. Additionally, supervision and management training for supervisors is mandatory, and anti-harassment training must be completed by all township employees, mayor, and council members. I respectfully ask the council to complete the online training at their earliest convenience. The benefit for complying with the program's requirements and having an updated loss control program, the township will receive the standard employment practices liability deductible of $20,000 per claim, plus a 20% copay capped at $50,000. Municipalities without an updated loss control program will have a deductible of $100,000 per claim, plus a 20% copay with no cap. The new members of the Planning and Zoning Boards have been requested to complete New Jersey DEP required stormwater training titled Asking the Right Questions. I appreciate those members that have completed the training. I kindly ask those members that have not to get the training completed. The township has officially acquired the property of 450 Pascack Road, and the DPW has made major progress at the location by performing cleanup, landscaping, and the removal of recycling materials such as scrap metal, cardboard, and plastic bottles within reason. Although the location is township property now, we kindly request the public to refrain from entering the property and structures as we work towards making the property safe. We will be applying for the 2026 New Jersey DOT grant by submitting for the resurfacing of Ridgewood Boulevard North. This application is due by July 1st, 2025, with a grant award announcement expected in November. This evening, administration has presented a resolution to the council seeking approval to bid for the Coolidge Avenue resurfacing project. With the council's approval, we hope to advertise this week. It is anticipated that Boswell Engineering will be conducting additional soil contamination delineation at the Old Swing Club property this week. And lastly, Boswell Engineering anticipates submitting the revised New Jersey DEP application for the restoration of the Musqueam Brook project the week of May 12th. That concludes my report. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. DeCarlo. Report of the mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. 450 Pascack Road. I am excited to share that the closing of 450 Pascack Road has been successfully completed. This parcel, adjacent to Memorial Field, spanning over 3 acres, and was acquired by the township for approximately $750,000. Notably, up to $550,000 of that amount is funded by a grant from the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund, which is funded by your taxpayer dollars. I am proud to bring some of these funds back to benefit our community. This acquisition adds yet another valuable piece of property to our open space collection. During a meeting with the Open Space Committee, I presented a vision for the property's potential use. The plan includes a nature trail, exercise area, landscaping, benches, sidewalks, and parking. Our immediate focus will be on cleaning up the property, and I will keep you updated on its progress. Ambulance Corps. It was an honor to be invited to their installation of officers' dinner and to swear them in. Also, they have literally opened their doors and are now sharing their space with crews from the County Ambulance Corps. Having a county ambulance stationed in our town, when possible, will allow for a quicker response to our residents when our own beloved Corps is not in service. I appreciate them researching this arrangement with the county and bringing me in at the appropriate time to finalize the deal. I am also glad that many of us had the foresight when the building was designed to add an additional bay. Recreation news. The 2025 summer camp registration will close on Sunday, June 1st. There is a limit of 600 registrants for the program. If the limit is met before the end of registration, a wait list will be created and implemented through the end of the registration. The 2025 lacrosse program is on its way and positive feedback is being received. We thank all the volunteers who always make it a great and fun experience for our children. The men's 2025 over 33 softball program season started on Thursday, May 1st. Want to wish good luck to all the teams. The 2025 Introduction to Cheer program registration also started on Thursday, May 1st. Teen Night at the Westwood Recreation Center is completed for the season and will resume in October. I encourage you to please visit the recreation page on the township's website and follow TWP of Washington, New Jersey 07676 Recreation, Parks, and Public Affairs Facebook page for updates on these and many other programs. There's a section on the website dedicated to information about upcoming sports camps for the summer season. Police Department news. Department members completed their first ever defensive tactics training and the initial phase of the annual police officer tactical response training. Fire Department news. The department responded to multiple calls for activated CO alarms and smoke detectors. They remind the residents that CO alarms have a life expectancy of 7 years and should be replaced at that point. The department responded to a mutual aid call from Paramus for coverage during a working fire. They also had a fence fire, which was quickly extinguished. Additionally, they held their annual pancake breakfast and Easter egg hunt. The members are always happy to see so many of their neighbors show up to these events, and they appreciate all the support. I attended both events, and I'm proud to say they were both well attended and enjoyed by everyone. DPW news. Weekly garbage debris collection is ongoing. Household debris collection took place during the week of April 7th and is taking place again this week. Metal and white goods were collected on April 15th, and the next collection will be on May 14th. All town parks, fields, and properties are now maintained and landscaped weekly. Catch basins in Zone 4 were inspected and cleaned. On April 27th, crews responded to both a tree in the road on Hoover Ave and a downed limb on Devon Road. Cleanup operations began at the newly acquired property at 450 Pascack. Public affairs. Planning is underway for the Memorial Day Parade on May 26th. The Department of Public Affairs, the Green Team, and the Mayor's Wellness Campaign hosted another 5K walk, run, and health fair this past Saturday. My wife and I were happy to participate in the walking part of the event. It was great to see so many people turn out. I want to thank Councilman Sears and Councilwoman Velez for always doing so much outside of their council duties for the residents, along with all the volunteers, including members of our fire department and ambulance corps, who always go above and beyond to make these events the successes that they always are. Zoning office, there were a total of 35 zoning applications reviewed for the month of April. Library, I was happy that Library Director Rifkin attended this evening to give her annual presentation. April celebrated National Library Week, and the staff was grateful for all the appreciation and support they received. April offered a large variety of programs and learning opportunities at the library. Stitching groups, chair and mat yoga classes, and now Storytime Yoga for ages 2 through 6. Movies, bingo night, music classes for babies, and special needs groups. A wonderful jazz concert and an adult tile art class. They are very thankful to the Association for Learning and Mentoring Services Organization grant for their sponsorship of a senior group trip to the Paper Mill Playhouse to see Take the Lead. ALMS provided the bus for transportation, the library provided lunch, and all had a wonderful time. A big thank you to all the local businesses and residents who have participated in their many fundraisers during these last few months. Thank you for all your generosity. Thanks to all your generosity, their goal of installing a fish tank will be a reality soon. May has the weather warming up and lots of outdoor learning opportunities to be had. Parents, please take a look at the new monthly outdoor story time schedule. May also offers a teen felting night and a teen succulent pet art program. Adults, there is another painting evening as well as a wool spinning class. And don't forget free CPR AED classes the week of May 12th. Please check the library website for days and times to register. Last but not least, municipal court, 250 total traffic tickets were issued in March, with 222 from the Township of Washington Police Department and 28 from the state police. The court collected $7,289.12 in revenue to the township. That completes my report. Thank you again, Council President.
Thank you. Report of the council, Ms. Velez.
Yes, thank you. On April 13th, I also attended the Township Fire Department's pancake breakfast. They did a fantastic job. My little one was very excited for the size of the pancakes. She said that they were better than IHOP's. So great job to everybody, especially the sprinkly one. On April 25th, I also attended the ambulance installation of officers. It's great to see the years that these men and women dedicate to our community. So thank you so much for your service. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the baseball softball opening day due to the date change, so I apologize for that. I already had a prior commitment for the 27th. I know the weather is difficult, but sometimes it's out of our control. I do hope it went well. Tonight, we will have a presentation from Jordan Schwartz, Love Them from the Inside Out. He will be hosting an event on June 11, 2025 at the high school. I will allow him to go into further details about the event during the public portion of our council meeting. I also want to thank Mr. Bob Stickle from Lifesavers, who made a generous $500 donation to the project. So thank you to Lifesavers for that. As was stated, this past Saturday, we had the 5K Run, Walk, and Health Fair. It was a great success. We had 184 registered participants on what turned out to be a beautiful sunny Saturday, even though we had some threats of heavy downpour. It ended up being beautiful and much hotter than expected. Our youngest participant was 7 years old, and our youngest at heart was 77 years old. So thank you for all of those that participated that day. As some of you may know, the township partnered up with the De Novo Harriers Running Club for the Beginner to Finisher 5K program, and our 5K was their official graduation race. So congratulations to many of them for completing their first 5K ever. I also want to thank all the sponsors, the health fair vendors, emergency services, supporters, volunteers, including those of you behind the scenes, Bethany Community Center for their partnership in hosting our event, Mayor Calamari, Administrator DiCarlo, Renata Duleski, the DPW, for getting us up and running by 7:30 in the morning. I know that's not easy. And thank you to all those involved. It really is nice to see our community coming together and sharing these events. It makes the endless hours worthwhile. And a quick shout out to all the residents that were out there cheering everybody on, including the scouts who were able to last minute man a second water station because we saw the temperature rising. So thank you to everybody involved. We really appreciate it. And then because of the success of our 5K Run, Walk, and Health Fair, we are once again going to be offering the Spring into Wellness Scholarship. We are offering two $500 scholarships to two township high school seniors entering a health-related field. So if you go on the township website, you can see a little more information, including the deadline, which is May 12th. So I encourage our high school seniors from township to look into this. Also speak to your guidance counselor at the high school. She will also have some information. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Sears?
Thank you, Council President. May 3rd, the Green Team, we had our brook cleanup. We started from Pascack all the way down to the entrance of the lake. We cleaned up a little under 200 pounds of debris along the brook and out of the water. We took everything from a suitcase to a leather jacket to tons of bottles and plastics and glass bottles and basketballs. It was a lot of debris. I do want to make one suggestion that people that walk their dogs and you do pick up your dog feces, don't throw them in the lake or on the bridge. Put them in the can that's there, 'cause it's kind of disgusting. You know, that water does flow down to the reservoir and it's something that we do drink. So please just pick it up. Opening day of baseball, great memories when my son was playing, the little kids. It was a cold day, but they were running around like no tomorrow. The health day and 5K run, Daisy, great job. We had a lot of support and vendors there, which was excellent. May 10th, we're going to be doing a flower planting by the bridge and in front of Town Hall. We're going to meet about 9 a.m. And start doing some planting. As we all know, there's this ridiculous public service gas and electric increase that's coming down, that's going to be hitting us. I was researching through Sustainable New Jersey, and I want to thank the administrator for working with this with me. We're going to merge with Sustainable New Jersey and offer all residents in Washington Township a reduction in trying to reduce their electric bills by efficient lighting, handing out a new type of light bulbs. They're going to be doing some kind of insulation work. They're going to be offering pipes, water reduction, and we're going to be looking to see what else we can do to offset this ridiculous increase that public service is bringing upon the community. So just listen to the council here on the webpage. We're going to put it out on the township We have a couple of meetings with them. We're going to try and hit the whole community and try and get everybody involved, try to reduce your electric bill. A lot of it's free, which is, well, I say, if it's free, it's for me. So if we can get it out to everybody, that'll be perfect. The last thing is my Montclair State group. We're going to be looking at the tree canopy and the amount of emissions that are being produced with the lack of our canopy. 2019, I mentioned that we were about 55% of our canopy. We're now at 43%. We lost so many trees within the community. We have to start planting. The amount of health issues that are going to happen in this community for the young children, is going to be unbelievable. So plant trees, please. We need you to plant trees. And the last thing I have is I have a meeting with a county environmental group. We're meeting every 2 weeks, and their first plan of establishment is to do a countywide seed planting to bring back the monarch butterfly. I do have the seeds. It's going to be a countywide issue. So if you need the seeds, call me. We're going to be offering them this Saturday also at the tree planting. That's my report. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Sears. Mr. Cash?
Trying to do so fast because we got so much.
We do have a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to make my comments brief. I did attend the ambulance corps dinner. It was nice to see all our volunteers that have been working so hard over the past 67 years, right, Pete? Something like that?
Yeah.
Around for 67 years. And I know things are changing with the ambulance corps, but they are still out there giving their all. And I want to thank Mr. Les, Mr. Sears, and the mayor for their efforts with the health fair and the run. It's greatly appreciated. It's nice to see the community come out and try and get some community spirit going. But again, everything's pretty much said, so I'll pass it on to Mr. Holman.
Mr. Holman?
I have no report. Thanks.
Thank you. Very quickly, want to thank the Fire Department, Police Department, Ambulance Corps, DPW, Knights of Columbus, the VFW, and all of the groups that attended opening day for Washington Township baseball, softball. We had to move it, unfortunately, from Saturday to Sunday, and all the groups were able to scramble and give us the same great services on Sunday morning. It was a little windy, but we got it all done. It was a very well-attended event. Everybody enjoyed it, and that's really quick. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you, everyone. Moving along, approval of minutes, regular meeting, April 8th, 2024, conference meeting, April 8th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Gassion.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Omen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Regular meeting, April 30th, 2024, conference meeting, April 30th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Omen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. General public comment, limit to 5 minutes. Motion to open the public comment period.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. DeSena,
Yes.
Council President, is it possible to suspend the limit
Yeah, well, when he comes up,
when
we'll
it comes?
suspend.
Okay, thank
Would
you.
anybody like to come up at this time and address the council? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Schwartz. I'm a sophomore at Westwood Regional High School.
Good evening.
And in June, I'm bringing an initiative that I started in freshman year to bring cardiac screening to the high school. This came to mind because my aunt is a teacher in Malwa, and she worked with a family, and their son, a couple years ago, he was 16, active athlete, healthy, and stood up from their dining room table one day, and he dropped dead out of nowhere. And later they learned it was from an underlying heart condition. They had no idea. So due to their tragedy, my aunt took my older cousin, who was 16 at the time, for a preemptive screening just to be safe. And lo and behold, he had an underlying condition that they never would have known if the screening hadn't been done. And he underwent an ablation at 16 years old. and it saved his life. So I got screened to be safe. Thankfully, I'm all right. And I just thought it was really important to make our community and the schools aware of like the silent killer. Awareness needed. So many families have no idea that their children might have an underlying cardiac condition. I think it's like extremely important to bring screening to the high school. It's currently being done in Mahwah, Waldwick, and they're doing it every other year at Don Bosco Prep. In Mahwah this year, they tested 142 students, and of the 142 students, they found 3 students with an abnormality that required further testing. And this doesn't apply to just athletes. People, that's all you hear about though. You just hear about the athletes dropping on the field, dying, but it can happen to anyone. So why screen, you might ask? The American Pediatrics Association recommends screening children for sudden cardiac arrest every 2 years. There could be a genetic history of cardiac issues. A simple screening provides a baseline of your child's cardiac health. 1 in every 300 kids in the United States has an unknown abnormality that they have no idea about. They can be detected early. Sudden cardiac arrest is the #1 killer of student athletes. A simple echo EKG test can save a life, and AEDs are simply just not enough. Most cardiac fatalities occur before a defibrillator can be administered. AEDs are reactive, whereas the screenings I'm trying to bring to the school are proactive. The MCOR Foundation. MCOR's mission is to provide education, screening, and research for sudden cardiac arrests in children and young adults. They currently have partnerships in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. And they screen over 5,000 children in a year, and they have a finding rate of 5% screen. So I started this freshman year, various meetings with people all over the school, the superintendent, the nurse, the guidance counselor, the principal, the athletic director. I've been going around trying to fundraise this, set this up. MCOR charges $79 to screen a child, and we're charging the families $25 per kid. So I've been going around fundraising around Westwood and Township Town to the small businesses, giving them flyers, asking for any help they can do to either publicize it or give a donation. And to offset the cost, I figured I had to raise around $3,200. And on my own, I raised about $2,300 so far. And as Daisy said before, thank you to Bob Stickle for his extremely generous donation. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. So anything you guys can do to help publicize this would be greatly appreciated. I mean, it's really important just for our community to know their child's health, because anything can happen, and you only know so much about your child's health, and anything can happen at any moment. So that's what. Oh yeah, and we have an up and coming meeting with the CEO of Hackensack UMC Hospitals, and hopefully they can do something to help. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it's going to do a lot of good in the community and save a lot of lives, hopefully. So, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Great job.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for all your help.
So Mike, can I respond? Is there something specific you'd like the council to do? Would you like us to just publicize it, get it out there on the website? How can we help people the best we can?
Yeah, the big thing right now is obviously fundraising. I mean, going forward, the plan is to make a club out of this and to have the club fundraise through the high school going forward. But obviously, this being the first year, we wanted to make sure we got it off the ground, and the only way to do it was for Jordan to go direct to the public to raise money. So anything you can do to help promote this to local businesses. I mean, obviously Westwood with the downtown, he's literally been fantastic. He just walks around downtown, goes in anywhere fearless, explains basically what he just told you. And, you know, it's been interesting to see how people have donated. We've gotten cash from people. People just hand us $15, $20. We've gotten checks, obviously Daisy connecting us with Bob Stickle was great. So yes, any promotion to businesses.
We can put this on the website, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, you know what, the best way to get it out there is get, some public
Yeah,
information.
so as of this morning, as of tonight, right, there are 62 slots available. As of tonight, there are 55 of them taken, and registered. So, that's where we are. And I know I had a conversation with Bob the other night about making this an ongoing thing. And obviously the big thing to make it ongoing is to get the participation. The reason Bosco does it every other year is because they can't seem to get the participation. But MCOR's here for Mawa and Waldwick usually in February for Heart Awareness Month. So that would be the plan, is to have them come back and do Westwood High School also in February when they're here, because it's easier for them if they're already coming to the area to do all the schools at once.
Jordan, I will bring this back to the baseball softball board, and I will try to match Mr. Stickle's donation.
Thank you.
So as soon as I get the approval, you'll be able to get in touch with me.
All right, sounds good. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Daisy, can I'm sorry.
May-
Daisy, can you get
This, can I just?
Yes.
Jordan, just a question. I feel like I saw that it was open to certain groups, ages. So can you just clarify which age group you're targeting?
So yeah, at first we were just gonna do it for juniors and seniors in the high school, because they're older and it was a test run for the first year, and we thought that that just made sense, but we weren't really getting a lot of participation, like registers and signups at first. So we decided recently to open it up to all 4 grades in the high school.
Okay.
And we've noticed significant jump in numbers over the past couple of days. And so, yeah, publicizing it. So it was originally for the top 2 grades in the school, but now it's open to all 4 grades.
Okay.
So
14, 15? Or does it?
9 through 12.
yeah, 9 through 12.
Okay, all right. And I believe, Mayor, I think we already put it on the Public Affairs Recreation page. And if that's okay, if we can continue to do so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll keep sharing it on the Public Affairs Recreation page. This would be great to do a potential booth next year at the 5K.
Yeah.
So that people are aware. Mrs. Beckmeyer, who's part of.
Hi,
the
I'm
board.
Judy Beckmeyer, as Director of the Board of Health. That's why I'm here to hear about this presentation. And I'd just like to suggest that perhaps as a community, with the support of the Board of Health, because I believe it's called silent myocardial ischemia, right? So they call it the silent killer, right? And it's in all age groups. I understand, and it's a wonderful thing that you're targeting the younger population, because we hear about these stories that, athletes just go on and they don't know what happened. But from what I understand, it's a underlying condition, because that's not usually monitored when you go to your physician. It's really, you have to do a certain number of tests, right? And it can affect any age group. Yes?
Yeah.
So I'd like to speak to my Board of Health further about this, about the Board of Health, and see, and speak to the mayor and council at a later note, once we get more information about it, to see if we could do, a community-based thing as well. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Council
you.
President,
Yes.
do you have flyers made up on this?
Yeah.
Right
Can
there.
we,
There's someone down there.
We have some.
can we get?
We have Ricky put that up when he runs the TV.
Email it to Dave.
I have it. So I think he did
Supposed to
put,
be putting it up.
Oh, Ricky's got it to put up?
I looked over, but I was listening. But we have it.
We'll get into their regular rotation.
The reason just initially why it was just for 11th and 12th grade was because they wanted to make sure there was a pool of children every year to sort of feed off of. So if we did 2 grades, then the next year there would be the sophomore and freshman, and so on and so on. But it was a little tough going to get people to register, and so now it's open to all 4 grades. And we're almost full at capacity, which is great.
That's great. Good job, Jordan.
Thank you.
I'm
Good
sorry
job,
you had
Jordan.
to experience, it's, out of some unfortunate circumstances,
Yeah.
something positive is born. So great
Yeah.
job for taking that on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You can call me tomorrow if you look on the website, the township website. Give me a call tomorrow, and I'll have an answer whether we'll make the donation.
All right, sounds good. I'll keep in touch.
Mike, may I make
Yeah,
a quick
yeah,
comment?
sure.
Or actually, two quick comments. On the grand scheme of things, I hope insurance companies will look at covering these screenings eventually, because your statistics are quite surprising and alarming to me. I wasn't aware of that. Second, and just talking with the administrator, with council approval, we'd like to make a donation, if it's okay with the council, from the 5K Health Fair Trust Fund, also for $500 to this cause. Ties directly into our mission,
Absolutely.
and we have the money in there to support it.
Thank you.
So is council okay with that before you see it on a bill list? then-
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with it.
the point of it's a wellness program, right? We want to.
So your fundraising's over then?
So
Now you
absolutely.
can concentrate on other things.
Yeah.
Bigger and better.
You
Thank
did great,
you.
Jordan. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Would anybody else like to come up and address the council at this time?
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
The 5-minute time limit is back in effect, Mr. Montalbano.
You might as well just sit down.
Yeah, so I just have a question. I'm here for the draft chapter, is it 580? I don't know if you guys, someone could talk about it just briefly, maybe, so I don't have to ask so many questions about it. I know it's still in draft, and but it's, I tried to find it on the website. It's not there yet. I know it's about parking for several different items. Is it someone that can comment on it before, we go any further? I just don't want to see that, this.
So under this proposed ordinance that was presented to us from the planning board, Mr. Muffin, it says motorhomes, house trailers, RVs, and travel trailers, limited number to one regardless of size, are permitted to be stored on a paved driveway in the AAA, AA, A, BB, or B districts if owned or leased by a member of the household in residency at the subject property. Every motorhome, house trailer, RV, and trailer parked in a residential district shall be screened with fencing or a dense year-round landscaping buffer or both. Height of such screening shall be not less than 6 feet at time of installation. Fences shall be on a solid design and otherwise comply with all other applicable fence requirements. An RV and its associated trailer produced by the same manufacturer shall count as a single vehicle. A recreational vehicle shall not be used for household occupancy, either temporary or permanent.
Okay, no, thank you. I appreciate that because I've been
Does that
trying to find, that helps a lot.
So it's got to be screened. It can't
Yeah,
just be
no, I
parked in the
understand
front
that,
of your
but
house.
what about the front of it though? That's the key, because then if you put, say, bushes in front, we won't be able
Well,
to. get it
you
in.
couldn't get it out then.
Can't get it out, so that would be an issue for me. But the other question I have is, what if you don't have enough room on the side between you and your neighbors?
Speak into your microphone, please.
Oh, what if you don't have enough room between your property and the neighbor? I particularly don't have that problem, but I know some that do. I don't know if that could be addressed at all I know you're gonna discuss it today, something like that. And then for the front of it, if you can just, I can't put bushes in the
Well,
front of it.
it says shall be screened by a fence or buffer or landscape buffer. So I guess the front, you'd have to have some kind of gate or fence in front of it.
You need a gate in front of it? All right, this is gonna be discussed as far as, because,
It's on the conference agenda.
Okay, because I did make provisions a few years ago and I moved it several feet back on purpose to keep it away from the public. But, all right, I just want to make that clear. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Would anybody else at this time like to come up and speak to the council?
Is this going to be consistent with commercial vehicles too? I know on the agenda there was commercial vehicles listed on this. Michael Friends.
Yeah,
Friends.
so Mr. Friends, it says, in this ordinance that was, it says every commercial vehicle and trailer parked in a residential district shall be screened with fencing or a dense year-round landscape buffer or both. Height of such screening shall not be less than 6 feet at time of installation. Fences shall be of a solid design and otherwise comply with all other applicable fence requirements.
So it's the same thing as the RVs?
Yes.
So you want everything sealed in?
That's what the ordinance reads, at this
Okay.
at present the way it reads.
I think that'll look twice as ridiculous as a commercial vehicle in the driveway in itself. And I'll say this, and I can speak for anybody else who has a vehicle, if they have to park it somewhere else, there are no places to park commercial vehicles or RVs around here. I'm paying $425 a month as it is now, because this was enforced on me 2 years ago. Spent $24,000 in the last 2 years to park a dump truck and purchase another vehicle to get to and from. So I just want to let you know, when you're thinking about this, if you're going to pass it, this is what you're going to be doing to the people who live in town if they have to get these things off site, because there is literally nowhere to go. Wherever we have to go park, we're just getting beat to death because they know there's nowhere to go. There's no places behind gas stations to hide behind anymore. I'm in Hillsdale now. The spot that I'm at, it's probably sold already. I heard it was sold. So then what? Taking it home again. And then the code officer's going to find me again. And then I'm going to get another ticket in the mail. So just think about these extra things. The money thing is a big deal. If there was a place to keep stuff, if you had a spot, like Wardell used to have a spot where you could park commercial vehicles for residents, you guys, you don't have that space. If you had something, it'd be a different story. But there's literally nowhere for us to go. Like nowhere. Without driving probably an hour. So I just want to let you know that it's a factor to keep in the city racing. I mean, a fence, I don't see a fence. I mean, you see how big some of these campers are. They're 30 feet long. They stick out to the sidewalk. You're going to make someone put a fence in front of it? It's going to look ridiculous.
So if I just may address that, Mr. DeSena, so I sit on the planning board. This ordinance, this proposed ordinance was in response to a comment in a reexamination of the master plan. One thing I would say is I don't believe it was the intent when it was sent up to the council to have fencing or a buffer in front of the vehicle.
Okay.
I think the intent was to shield your immediate neighbor to the left, on that common property line. To your point, then, Mr. Montemano, to put a fence before it,
Yeah, that doesn't
I
make
think,
sense.
it's not practical, it's somewhat ridiculous.
It's 100% ridiculous.
So, I think, I do think the proposal to put screening on the side, there is a benefit to that. But in terms of in front, I don't think that was ever
Yeah,
the
I mean, even on the
intent.
side, I don't even know how it's possible. Some people just have vans with commercial lighting on the doors. They park in the driveway. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just line both your driveways with arborvitaes? Like, one, it's expensive, and it would just look ridiculous.
So what are you proposing in
I
an
said,
ideal?
forget it. Leave the whole thing alone. It's fine. Like, I've been here for 22 years already, and I just had this enforced on me 2 years ago. I don't know what the hell happened within 20 years, but there's people on the lake with boats. Erwin Simon, he's lived there his whole freaking life, 65, 70 years. Now he's got to move his boat. Like, he lives on a lake. What the hell is he supposed to do with it? It's just stuff,
He has to move his
it's a
boat.
fight for no reason. It's
Why
just
does he
like
have to move his boat? I'm sorry.
Well, I thought that was in the proposal too, the
Well,
campers.
see,
boats.
that's the piece that I'm confused about, because it's come to my attention, people have contacted me that they thought they had to get rid of their RVs. But this is not saying that people have to remove their RVs.
Okay, I took it as,
So,
and I think other
But-
people took it that we're
yes,
supposed to
and
get
I don't
removed.
know where that information came from,
Yeah, it's a
From?
matter of
I mean, I had to
screening.
get removed.
But-
Well,
I'll tell you that.
it's a matter of screening. So if you can't screen
Screening.
it, well, the way it was interpreted was if you can't screen it, you have to remove it.
I'm sorry, I don't read it that way, but
Ms. Bailey, would that be, if you were reading this ordinance, would you read it that way as an attorney?
I think that would have to be clear. It doesn't say that.
Well,
I
you
imagine
you
there,
just get fined. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
Yeah, well,
So
that
it's-
was
it's
me.
something-
I lived it.
To me, I've asked numerous times for the police department to tell me how many people have had a complaint from another neighbor.
I bet it's a very, very small.
I agree.
There is basically no complaints against anyone with an RV or a boat. I find it, and this is not against the planning board, it's just, something that's ludicrous that the state starts to make you do stupid things that don't need to be
This
done.
is coming from the
Okay.
state, that's coming on you.
But basically, because that's,
Master plan?
it's a master plan, you gotta do a master plan has to include
All
certain
these
elements
items.
and these elements. are part of the elements that we're talking about, are part of that master plan. Now, never seen a complaint against anyone, especially the Simons, right? They have us, they're, like I said, they're on the lake, right? They have a nice 26-foot class 1 pontoon boat, right? Where are you gonna put it? Right. It's again, government gets involved with stuff they shouldn't even bother getting involved with, because there's no, everyone seems to be happy, right?
Does anybody enforce it on
I
you
don't
guys?
get it. I'm sorry?
Does anybody enforce it on you guys? Like if you didn't do anything about it?
Not,
If you just said,
Miss Bailey.
we're leaving everybody alone?
not right now. I don't think it's being enforced at all.
So
That
there's
I'm,
your
that I'm
answer.
aware of.
I just solved the whole problem.
There is situations where you have to
It's done.
have particular ground to park your boat on.
Yeah.
You just can't park it on dirt. You have to have that clapboard down there.
You know, it's, again, government gets too involved with stuff they
Right.
shouldn't get
I'm
involved
just
with.
saying, I'm already out. I just wanted to let you know about the financial implications
Oh, sure.
that could happen to some of these people.
Like you said, if you
I'm
have a
really
commercial
getting kicked in the
vehicle,
nuts.
there's nowhere to put your stuff on your property. There's nowhere other commercial lands to do it. We have the problem with our DPW, right, Pete? Because we have all this equipment. There's nowhere to put it.
I understand this. That's
Councilwoman,
what I'm
correct me if I'm right, it was something to do with the commercial vehicle axles from a 4-wheel to a 6-wheel, that they were talking about the type of truck that's being parked on a property. That's originally how some of this started, that somebody has a 6-wheel vehicle and it's bigger than what the weight limitations require it to be. That's how this, some of this process started. You know,
Triple axle vehicle.
yeah.
They were trying to.
Yeah, I had 6 wheels, 2 axles. I'm out, I guess.
No.
That was it.
Yeah. You got
So that's
trailer?
all. I just wanted to let you guys know. If you don't do anything, great. If you do, don't.
I mean, the goal is not to create a hardship for anybody, right?
get it.
It's to comply with what we, have to meet. But at the same time, I wanted to be clear that I didn't read it as you're gonna have to remove it. So I guess we do have to work on clarifying the
That's how I read it.
screening.
Everybody else I spoke to, everybody that I know.
Well, right now, it says if you can't screen it, you gotta remove
It was you're out.
Or you keep paying fines. So
it. Or you're gonna get fined.
Yeah,
financially, you would have to remove it.
there literally is nowhere to go. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. Unless you wanted to open up the back of the swim club and charge us.
You can't park at the swim club, you can't park our own equipment there.
Can I rent out my own driveway and my business?
But anybody else, thank you, Mr. Friends.
Scott Wager, 23-year township resident. I have an issue with the screening now, right? So there are parameters to put up fences, you have to have setbacks. So you can't put a fence right at the edge of my driveway to screen this campering. Plus, you have ordinance on height, right?
Correct.
So 5-foot fence.
It's not gonna go right, you're not gonna block the
You're
front.
not gonna block the camper because it's too high, the RV, whatever you wanna call it. So it's kind of like a moot point what you guys are trying to do here. I mean, it is gonna create a hardship for a lot of people, who have campers, and I don't know, how many you think you got in the town? How many campers you think are in this town? 30?
50.
50? Okay. So I only keep mine in my house during camping season. People keep it all year round. But I just think forcing people to put the fence up is totally ridiculous because you probably, as a township, will not even let me put the fence behind my sidewalk at the edge.
No,
of
you
the
can't. That's,
So you
well,
can't.
it says within fence guidelines.
Yes.
So you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, and my neighbor, I don't have a problem with my neighbor next door. I see him, it's no problem, So I just think what you guys are proposing as far as shrubs, screening or whatever is kind of a little ridiculous because with the property that we have.
Let me take it back. It's not this board that's proposing it.
I
It's
get
the
it.
planning board. So
Yeah.
I want to make it perfectly
So,
clear.
Coming from the master
But you guys have a little influence on the planning board also.
Well, that's why we're reviewing it now.
So,
and comments.
but to have us putting up more fences and stuff like that, it's just not gonna work.
So, if I could just interrupt, I think that's a misrepresentation. So the planning board,
And I agree. I think where you're going.
the planning board is
We both sit on the planning board.
I got that.
is responding, the planning board is responding to a comment that was included in the reexamination. And one of the things they have to do or have done is crafted a draft ordinance to the best of their abilities to address that comment, and they give it to the council, and it's ultimately the council's responsibility to either accept it as is, to amend it, or they don't have to pass it. But it's, I don't think the planning board, I think.
Well, Mike, I misspoke, not the planning, but that's the recommendation you got from the planner, right? As the planning board, correct?
Well, it's the recommendation of the adopted master plan
Okay.
and the reexamination that I'm sure the council actually approved. So, I mean,
And I didn't mean to throw it out the planning board,
It is-
trust me.
it is- it's a issue that was raised that is being brought to the council, and there's certainly work that could be done on the ordinance. I mean, we're hearing it now, but I don't want it to be mischaracterized that the planning board is telling you to do something. The planning board is making a recommendation, and the council, in conjunction with the administration, has to react to that.
Well, I mean, you just keep saying like a comment was made, right? A comment. So it wasn't like something that has to be done. It was, you're getting a comment from who?
There were, I think, I believe there were five recommendations. I mean, I call it a comment. I believe it was actually a recommendation.
It's not a mandate. It's a recommendation.
It's not a mandate, but it requires a response from the planning board. And in the case of this, the response is a proposed ordinance for the council to consider.
And if I could just jump into, the planner who's helping us with the master plan, he does a lot of municipalities. So he'll give us a lot of suggestions to say, hey, other municipalities are looking at this. So is it something that the township wants to consider? And then I could repeat what Mr. Allman said, but there's no need to. The planning board then, looks at it and recommends to the council that they look at it, but council's free to accept it, deny it in total, or change it.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's a problem issue in the township.
No, I don't think anyone is
know-
suggesting it is really.
I don't know why you would want to pass something and make it a hardship.
It's coming from the state through the master plan.
I understand.
And we, every 10 years, have to update the master plan. And we haven't updated in
1976.
a long time, let's put it that way. All right, so we have a mandate to look at ordinances throughout the county. And like Councilman Allman stated, they get these recommendations and like safe streets, so they're saying, well, you need a stop sign everywhere, but it's a recommendation. And part of the master plan is that we have to look at these issues that are driven by the state so we can make the master plan whole. And it's just a process we're going through right now. And I agree with Councilman Allman and the mayor that, we have to look at this according to the state's master plan, which is.
But you don't have to act on it.
No, but we do have to make
A recommendation.
a recommendation
Why? Yeah.
to be placed into the master
I
plan.
just think you're gonna make a problem. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
So that's
I
my
mean,
opinion.
if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And this is where we're headed with this.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
And if there hasn't been any issues or
Right, that's-
complaints,
Yeah.
then we're just
I mean, this is-
introducing an unnecessary.
Yeah, neighbors don't get along with neighbors sometimes. I get that, and,
Yeah.
oh, he's got this, they got that. Listen, the parking is an issue also. A lot of families that have more than 4 cars. Some people have a 2-car driveway, a 3-car driveway. You have 5, 6 cars now. The kids are all getting older. It's tough. I mean, to make it so you can only put your car on the street for 7.
Well, no, you can apply for a permit now if you meet the
A
requirements
hardship.
for hardship through the
the
police
police.
department.
Good to know. Thank you for
And if I were a neighbor, I'd say, take me in your RV or take me on your boat once a year. We'll get no complaints.
No problem.
Anybody else like to come up and address the council at this time? Seeing no one, motion to close the public comment period.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. You do 5?
You want to do 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Could you take a 5-minute recess? Budget adoption related documents. Ordinance, adoption, second reading. Ordinance number 25-08. Calendar year 2025 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. NJSA 40A:4-45.14. Resolution number 25-214. Authorize second reading and opening a public hearing for ordinance 2508. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Would anybody in the audience like to come up and discuss resolution number 25-214? Seeing, what's that?
The ordinance.
Ordinance, yeah. Ordinance 25-08. Seeing no one, motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2508.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 2508 at second reading by title.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Resolution 25-215, waive the reading in full of the 2025 budget. Please note that a copy of the 2025 township budget was posted on the township website on April 11th, 2025, published in the Bergen Record April 11th, 2025, and made available at the Township of Washington Public Library and Town Hall, and by contacting the township clerk during normal business hours. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. The public hearing on the 2025 township budget, as advertised, motion to open the public hearing on the 2025 township budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to come up and address the public hearing, the 2025 township budget in the audience? Motion to close the public hearing on the 2025 township budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2025 budget adoption, resolution number 25-216, adoption of the 2025 township budget. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Ordinances adoption, second reading, ordinance number 25-09. An ordinance under Chapter 87 of the Code of the Township of Washington setting forth the rate of compensation and manner of payment of employees for the year 2025. Resolution number 25-217, authorizing second reading and opening a public hearing for ordinance 2509. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Would anybody like to come up at this time to discuss ordinance 2509? Seeing no one, motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2509.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 2509 at second reading by title.
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
No.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
No.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Introduction, first reading, ordinance number 25-10, bond ordinance appropriating $2,352,000 and authorizing the issuance of $2,239,000 in bonds or notes of the township for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Township of Washington and the County of Bergen, New Jersey. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 25-10 at first reading by title.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
No.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Resolution number 25-218, authorizing publication of ordinance number 2510 and scheduling a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Resolution number 25-219, authorize temporary capital budget section CYA 2025. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Councilman Cassia.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
No.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Ordinance number 25-11, an ordinance by the mayor and council repealing and replacing chapter 244 flood hazard areas of the ordinances of the Township of Washington and adopting the following floodplain management regulations, chapter 244, sections 101 to 1001, and further amending chapter 244 to adopt the flood hazard maps to designate a floodplain administrator and providing for severability and an effective date. Motion to introduce and pass ordinance number 25-11 at first reading by title.
So moved.
Second.
May I just ask a question?
Sure.
Actually, it's not this one, I'm sorry. Oh, no, it is. Who's the floodplain administrator? Who will that be?
Construction code official.
Okay. Thank you.
So, I just have a question. When we were, I believe this is what it was related to, we received an email from Administrator Carlo that basically this mirrors or it was provided by the state, by the DEP, it's been reviewed, and we can't make any changes. I don't know if that's an accurate summary of the email, but basically, it is what it is, and you can't do anything about it.
Can everyone just turn the mics back on if you turn them off?
I don't know if I want to take that definitive of approach, but the ordinance was worked on by our township engineer and our township attorney, and we went with all the recommendations of the sample ordinance provided by DEP. It was then sent to the DEP for approval from the DEP, EPA, and FEMA, and it came back to us approved by them. So if there was any type of additions, revisions, or, altering of this, it would have to go back before them, and we have a deadline of June 18th. I don't know what the council would recommend to change based on the fact that it was an ordinance created by the DEP. I don't know if Ms. Bailey wants to expand on anything.
Just briefly, it's basically the municipalities are required to comply with the floodplain regulations. The DEP has prepared and published a model ordinance that they say if you want to change, any changes need to be submitted to DEP. But by the way, nothing substantive will be approved. So it is in effect telling municipalities that other than, de minimis changes, this is what they require to be passed by each municipality as it relates to the subject matter.
But there are requirements in here that have no, impact, or, we don't have, the township doesn't have housing stock or locations, topography that, would be covered by it. So, why would we talk about coastal A zones and V zones if we don't have them?
If they don't apply, they don't apply, like anything else. So it's a matter of if this applies, this is the regulation, this is the standard, this is that. And I would imagine it's a shorthand way of imposing the same comprehensive ordinance provision on all the municipalities throughout the state without having to kind of.
So like one fits all?
It is a one
Pretty
one
much.
size fits all.
Yeah, it is.
It is,
absolutely.
Mr. Allman.
Instead of taking
Yeah.
stuff out, they just leave it in case we become a waterfront community, we're ready to go.
Right.
Exactly.
So if it, for instance, on page 22, it defines or talks about accessory structures. Does that open up the township if someone wants to, build these accessory structures? Like, if we talk about items that we either don't want or, have an existing ordinance on, and this contradicts it, or, I guess contradicts it, or is silent on it, or this speaks to something that we're silent on, does this then become the law of the land?
So if I understand your question correctly, these definitions are applicable only as they relate to this chapter. So for example, this definition of accessory structures don't necessarily apply to the zoning ordinance, for example. They don't, in fact. These are limited to this ordinance.
I mean, similar to the gentleman's comments, is it being mandated by the state? I feel like, this is being told to us, is it?
We have to
Is
adopt
it
this
making,
ordinance.
but is it making the township better? I mean, or is this just a set of rules that they said you need to pass and pass it?
Yeah, certain issues the state has taken control of, one of which is stormwater management, for example.
Okay.
Floodplain is another one, because it's a problem. Flooding is a statewide problem, it's a national problem. So this is one of the areas where, yes, they're taking control and they're mandating that the municipalities pass these ordinances to come up with a comprehensive way to address it.
Okay, and then just one last question, because I feel like I'm beating this horse to death, but if that's the case, why would, and this is more a generic question, if the state is taking responsibility and the state is creating these ordinances, they are creating the rules, why do we have to adopt it? I mean, doesn't it just become a state issue? And
Well, municipalities have the obligation to enact ordinances relating to health, safety, and welfare. So the state within that directive finds that this is the mechanism by which each municipality should be handling this particular issue within that municipal function and power.
okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Resolution number 25-220, authorizing publication of ordinance number 2511 and scheduling a public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio.
Yes.
Councilman Sears.
Yes.
Councilman Ullman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez.
Yes.
Council President DeSena.
Yes. Resolution consent agenda. The following items have been determined to have the unanimous consent of council and will be enacted in one motion. Should any item require independent consideration, any council member may have such item removed from the consent agenda. Does anyone have any resolution to be removed from the consent agenda at this time?
221.
221. Any others? Okay, resolution number 25-222, authorization to advertise for receipt of bids, new shingle roof at the library. Resolution number 25-223, authorization to advertise for receipt of bids, tree pruning, removal, and planting. Resolution number 25-224, authorize refund engineering escrow block 4419, lot 27, in the amount not to exceed $807.50. Resolution number 25-225, authorization to advertise for receipt of bids for local aid grant 2025 Coolidge Avenue. Resolution number 25-227, authorize cancellation of grant receivables and appropriated reserves in the amount of $897.94. Motion to approve consent agenda resolutions as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio?
Yes.
Councilman Sears?
Yes.
Councilman Ullman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez?
Yes.
Council President DeSena?
Yes. Resolution number 25-221, authorize application to Bergen County Open Space Recreation Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund for 2025 Municipal Park Improvement Program to obtain a matching grant in the amount of $97,000 for improvements to Memorial and Clark Fields, which include ADA improvements. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it. Discussion, Mr. Ullman?
Yeah, I just, with the acquisition of 450, I guess my question is, one, are they considered two separate properties for these types of applications, or are we looking at it as a, now that it's been acquired, is it one property that we're working towards? Are we putting restrictions on ourselves?
Well, eventually, shouldn't the tax assessor remove the property line?
You asking me?
No, I'm talking to Mr. DeCarlo.
I'm sorry, I don't have that answer. I don't know.
I believe that's what happens. So it'll become one lot, Mr. Ullman,
Okay, so
once we get that far.
I guess my question is, or by having it as two lots or two pieces of property, are we increasing or decreasing our chances of securing grants? You know, are we negatively impacting us by keeping them separate? Is this memorial, does it contemplate any of the work being done on 450?
No, they're separate projects. We have two grants for 450 itself. One was the land acquisition,
Yes.
the other is the local recreation improvement grant. So the intent of this resolution is to do ADA compliant improvements at Memorial Field and Clark Field. So the grant application actually does have two separate properties. So I could certainly ask. My experience with it, I don't think it would ever harm us from getting, grants if it's one property or two, but I don't technically know that answer. I'm just
Yeah,
giving a reasonable response, but I can certainly find out.
I mean, if we go to them and say we want a grant for Memorial Field and a grant for 450, do we have a better opportunity of getting, 100,000 each or going for 200,000? I mean, I guess strategizing, I don't know if there's something that we can do to sort of improve our.
I can certainly add. Yeah, I certainly don't think this, grant application harms us in any way, because like I said, it's two different properties now, and we got, we're hopefully going to receive the grants we applied for from Memorial Field.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and also those two properties are very different in their anticipated uses, at least for the foreseeable future. There's no plan to incorporate 450 into Memorial Field or anything like that. So again, I think the grants we would be applying for would be distinct to each property for the foreseeable future.
So well, that would be a different discussion, but I mean, I would think that 450 at some point, there would be an integration. I mean, sooner rather than later in terms of a master plan of those recreation spaces.
Typically when you have the same owners on two contiguous lots, the lot line disappears.
If you can visualize like 450 in your mind, there definitely is a topography difference, Mr. Ullman, like going from Memorial. And I think we might have some riparian restrictions up in the back property because of a tributary.
Right.
So that's why, and again, it's not set in stone, but when we went before the board with our idea, it was passive recreation. So it was like, you just had to have an idea. It wasn't set in stone, but I think it was like a parking lot in the front with a, passive, like a walkway that went kind of through the 3 acres and came back.
Right.
But as you go deeper into the property, if you can envision, it's even a worse topography change.
Yeah.
So, I don't see us ever being able to like expand it as if it was one field and then be able to put like another softball. I'm just making stuff up, but
Don't make stuff up because we've been.
Well, I always have a disclaimer. I always let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call?
Councilman Casio,
Yes.
Councilman Sears,
Yes.
Councilman Omen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Velez,
Yes.
Council President Zacetta.
Yes. Motion to adjourn to the conference agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting of the Township Council will be on May 19, 2025, beginning at 7 p.m. Sign up for Nixle, text 07676-2888-777, key code TWP of Bergen. Conference agenda for May 5th, 2025. Master plan update. Mr. DeCarlo?
Sir, there's nothing. That was just a placeholder in case anything came up from the closed session.
Okay.
We're good.
Chapter 307 noise ordinance. Does anybody have any comments?
Are we happy with it? Or something you want to change? Ms. Bailey, where do we get most of this information from? The ordinance?
This is another model ordinance, that if you want a noise ordinance, this is what you have to follow. This is preempted, the issue is preempted.
Right.
You don't have to have a noise ordinance like the floodplain, but
Right.
if you want one, this is what you gotta do.
Okay.
And the requested changes are red line or black line
Okay.
that the council discussed last month.
Good light, yeah.
And we talked about the excessive automotive noises, right? With, I call them zipper cars, right?
Yeah.
That really comes under the purview of the police department to enforce that. That wouldn't be in this one.
I believe
Automobiles.
one of the changes was requesting that the police department be automatically designated as,
Page 3.
Yeah, I see that in here.
Yeah.
what are those called, these people, noise investigators or?
Yeah, notice control investigators.
Control. I mean, I think to me that, living on one of the major roads in the township, that's.
All police officers of the Township of Washington are designated notice control investigators subject to the requirements here. And that's on page 3.
Right, and I think Mr. Sears would agree because he hears it from Washington Avenue all the time. I don't know if you've heard from your vantage point on Van Emberg, their days.
We hear it on Beach Street every
day. You can set your watch to it with some particular vehicle, so I want to make sure that's in there and that we have the police.
I'm okay with the changes Mrs. Bailey made at our request.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay for next meeting to introduce this particular ordinance, 307. Is everybody okay?
Yes.
I'm fine with it.
All right. Chapter 223, parking, standing, and stopping.
I believe the request there had to do with a minor change.
Yep, that one
Yeah,
on the first page of it.
yeah. Any individual or government agency with authority in the case there's a state declared emergency, that would falls under this ordinance as well.
Everybody okay with that one?
Yes.
All right, so I'm okay with that one coming next week. The next one I'd like to think about now that we've had the draft ordinance 580. I'd like to now, with the comments from the citizens that came up tonight, I'd like to hold off on making any decision on that till I read that and, take that into account. The mailbox damage, snow plowing, I'm okay with the way the Oakland one is. I don't know what everybody else's thought is.
Oakland?
Well, the first one, the first one's Oakland, and then there's a Woodcliff Lake one, which I like the Oakland one because it's less is more sometimes.
Council President, if you don't mind, I just want to point out one big difference. The Oakland, let me just never mind. One of them only referred to damage by direct snow plowing, like if the plow hits it. I'm trying to just Franklin Lakes only applied to direct contact. It didn't apply to thrown snow. So as long as it wasn't Borough of Franklin Lakes, unless the council doesn't want to cover if it's thrown snow. The difference I'd like from Borough of Oakland and Woodcliff Lake, that just Woodcliff Lake has a definition for landscaping and hardscape and it addressed the responsibility of the homeowner in the town there. And again, I had no comment on the amount. That was, totally up to, council on that.
I'm okay with the Oakland. I don't know what everybody else is.
Michael, do you mind if we just go back to the one with the commercial vehicles for 1 second?
Which
Yeah.
one?
The one that we were.
580 or?
580?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so with that particular one, I'm going to ask Ms. Bailey, if you could, for the boats, we have it at 25 feet, right? We highlighted. If we could change that to 26, because the state and government recognizes a couple different classifications of boats. So if we want to stay consistent with the terminology, Class A boat is 0, I don't know, a boat could be 0 feet long, but up to 16 feet, that's Class A. And then a Class 1 boat is up to 26. So if we can change 25 to 26, just to keep it consistent, that would be my one change on there. So
Okay.
I don't know if that makes a difference to anyone, but just to keep the nomenclature the same, I would appreciate that. Yes, I know one foot doesn't make a difference, but if you want to keep things consistent in terms, that's all.
So is everybody okay? Does everybody prefer Oakland or Woodcliff Lake?
I'm happy with either one.
I think the Oakland one is sweet and to the point. It's $100.
Why do you prefer Oakland?
Because it's sweet and to the point. It's $100. It's your fault for having your mailbox in the wrong spot. And if we damage it, we give you $100 and we walk away.
Is that the amount council wants to go? Is that the amount council wants to go with, 100?
I think 100 is more than enough.
You can't get anything for $100.
Okay.
Not my fault. You put your.
I bought a mailbox for $15 at Home Depot the other day, so
There you go.
How quickly did it rust?
it still looks great. It's only been for 2 weeks.
All right, which one? Oakland or Woodcliff Lake?
Did you say Oakland?
I said Oakland.
I like Oakland.
You good with Oakland?
I'm fine with it.
Mike, you okay with Oakland?
Yeah.
Ms. Velaz, you okay with Oakland?
Yeah, I mean, either.
All right, so we'll do Oakland for the next meeting. Thank you.
For $100.
For $100.
Okay.
Yeah, just the way it's
Thank
written.
you. I appreciate that.
Financials, nothing. Township recycling and garbage provider update. Ms. Velaz.
Yes, so I had a resident reach out to me regarding recycling and garbage in our town. And I share some of her frustrations with our recycling and garbage. I think we have improved, especially since I moved in here, stepping away from those awful purple bags.
Yeah.
So that just never made sense to me, to put a bag inside of a bag.
It was the only way for the
Yeah,
provider
I
to know
get
who to
it.
pick up and not pick
But it
up.
was still silly.
Yes.
So I just wanted an update from the administration on where we stand in regards to our recycling and garbage and what we're looking at towards the future now with the DPW facility. So if they could please provide an update on that.
Well, we're 2 years away, Mr. DeCarlo, we're 2 years away from a new contract.
Yes, so we.
Because I asked if we could eliminate some of the other providers and possibly go to one provider.
Well, the garbage is completely on the onus of the homeowner. They can select whoever they want to contract with. Recycling, Gata was awarded the bid by council in early spring 2024.
Did you speak? I can't hear you.
Please.
The residents contract for garbage pickup, like kitchen pickup, on their own. They can contract with any hauler they wish to. The township provides recycling. Council awarded the bid early spring in 2024, so it's a three-year contract. So we just started our second year. So we'd be ready to go out to bid again early 2027.
But is there, like, my whole crust with this whole thing is, on my street and every street in Washington Township, there are garbage cans out on the street every day of the week, right? So I understand why, because, Joe Schmo, his people don't know that it's that house and that house and that house. So without having the bags, like Ms. Velez just says, you can't know which bags are yours and which ones aren't. But it's gotten out of control because there's like like, just on my street alone, there's 5 different people picking up garbage, running down the streets with garbage trucks, running down the streets with pickup trucks full of garbage, then dumping into a garbage truck on another block. Then we have recycling, then we have town pickup, which is great. But all these vendors that everybody is, like we used to have the choice of 2, right? We had Waste Management and Bulldog. Now there's like 6 different trucks going up and down the streets because, this guy gives you $25 a period for a limited time. So everybody goes to him, then he raises his price, then everybody. So I know we talked to Mr. Pollard before, going back to a similar agreement where we go out to bid and only allow 2 of them to provide.
We did that, and then
We didn't.
and then didn't right post COVID, we went out to bid and we didn't get enough.
Right.
Wasn't
Yeah, we
that
didn't get
something?
enough.
No, I'm saying.
So we can have a town,
One bid.
the town garbage pickup, one unified, so it made
Yeah.
sense and doesn't wear on the streets.
The price was about the same as the residents paying for it individually, and we only got 1 bid, which the council did not necessarily like, was my recollection.
But I'm just saying, just go back to the way the ordinance was written previously, where you could only contract with Bulldog and Waste Management or whoever it may be. I'm just using that.
Is that legal? Can we tell
That's
people
what we
who they
did.
can't deal with?
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm not, what is the suggestion?
That we limit how many haulers can service the town?
Oh, I don't think you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think.
But we've been in the past. I mean, we've had in the past.
I can't speak to the past
What's that?
necessarily.
Mike, if you're concerned about having all the garbage,
Well, just set a date that all those haulers, those 6 of them, pick up every Wednesday and every Monday, and that's it. All the because right now, one picks up on Monday, one picks up on Tuesday, one picks up on Wednesday, then we pick up on Thursday, then the other one picks up on Friday, the other one picks up on Sunday. So there's garbage, there's cans of garbage and it drives me crazy because then people leave them out an extra day because they can't bring them in time. So now you got a week full of garbage cans out on the street. It looks bad.
right?
Yeah.
What we can do is say, you do side yard pickup. Then you don't have to worry about garbage cans in the middle of the street. It's a very simple issue. And if you want to go with Bulldog, he's going to charge you $75.
But Bulldog does side yard pickup, but I don't use it because of my dogs. So that's on me. But what I'm saying, Steve, is your garbage gets picked up by such and such on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Mine gets picked up on Tuesday. Yours gets picked up by JC on Wednesday. This one gets picked up.
I guess my question to you, does it bother you? It's the garbage cans are out and you have trucks coming down your road every year?
Both.
Why can't we revisit
Just
our
setting a date.
2021, potentially having just one vendor that services the whole town?
We can't because
We can when this contract is
Well,
up.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we
Maybe
gotta wait
that's
till this
something
contract's up.
that we,
Recycling or garbage?
garbage.
Oh, we don't have a contract.
Right.
I know, but why can't we visit that
Look at it again
idea?
like we did in 21.
So that we
Put the
can
same bids
ask,
back out of the area a
To
little.
collect garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked into this,
We had an issue with it.
informally last May around this time, and garbage pickup would be like $800,000 to $1 million for garbage. For the township was gonna pay for it.
The township, when the municipality pays for it, it's a lot more than the individual. There's no doubt about it.
because we ran those numbers in 2022.
Numbers were huge.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, can we
DeCarlo.
maybe put our heads together and limit, forget about limiting how many we have, but they all pick up on Wednesday and they all pick up on Mondays. Because
If other towns can figure out how to have one vendor service the community, I think we can figure that out too.
Well,
Well, to use cost, to use
It
cost.
is, but
You have
what
to-
are we spending as individual households?
It depends, because some people have side yard pickup and get multiple, twice a week pickup. Some people get once a week pickup. Some people get one bag pickup. Some people get unlimited pickup. So it's all over the place, the numbers. That's the problem. But my problem is just, if you go down every street in township, any day of the week, there's a garbage can out there.
But in
Or,
addition,
hundreds of garbage cans out.
in addition to just the garbage, it was also, I brought this up because of the recycling. We do have recycling, every 2 weeks, and in the world of Amazon, that's
Doesn't
just,
work.
it's not,
Well, it's better
And
than it
if
used to
you
be, because it used to be
miss-
once a month.
yeah, and if you miss, forget about it. Your cans and your recycling and all the recycling. it just
Well, I had
adds
asked
up.
one time if we look, like at one point in time,
Single stream?
no, but at one point in time, we were paying Westwood a nominal fee to be able, if you missed, to go
To dump.
to go dump by them. And I know,
That's when recycling's had a value.
correct.
That they would sell it. Now they don't, so.
So, I mean, from
If
the
you miss
admin,
it, just bring it to another town and drop it.
so what, you didn't say that. So what are we looking at for the future? You know, because.
Well, we need more recycling to come.
Recycling,
But that's 2 years away.
garbage.
That's 2 years
And
away.
that's fine, but you know what? The way government works, we have to have these conversations now because it just takes too long.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's, put it into our, front burner
Okay.
so that we can.
We will, keeping in mind that it's 2 years away, so there's a balance. in there.
All right.
So what would you propose? I mean, so is it pick up once a week? Is it pick up twice a week? Is it, I think some towns have it in the summer, it's twice, and in the winter, it's once. I mean, we can specify, but it's,
Well,
requires us.
the most the carriers are picking up is twice a week, right? Like it's Wednesdays and it's Mondays and Wednesdays, right? That, I think Bulldoze, that's their best service, right? It's Mondays and you put out Sunday night.
Mondays and Thursdays.
What's that?
I get Mondays.
Mondays, yeah. So those are the 2 days, but it's the other ones that the one comes on a Tuesday, the one comes on a Wednesday. Then it's even more the days that our recycling falls on it and bulk goods falls on it and leaves fall on it. And then it's like, garbage can heaven now, say.
but can we, I guess this is a question to Siobhan, can we mandate, because carting is highly regulated. I mean, can we mandate what days they can be on our streets?
I don't see why not,
You can put
but
a bid.
I can certainly look at this.
To me, it's almost like you're treading on thin ice there, because then you're going to say, oh, well, Amazon trucks, they're on my street 5 times a day. They can only deliver Monday and Thursday. Where
That's different.
does that
That's
line
different.
get
That's-
drawn?
I'm talking about garbage cans in front of the house. Not really.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm not worried about Amazon trucks. I'm worried about like these, because now like by me, there's a pickup garbage truck and he drives around and they have 2 guys just thrown into the back of the pickup truck. And then he goes 2 blocks over and he dumps into a big garbage truck, but he's dumping stuff all over the street. And then I got to call Mr. DiCarlo and get him upset.
He never gets upset.
No, you don't. He's very good. So you did when he dumped all the recycling in front of my house.
Well, to Mr. Councilman Ullman, to your point, to your question, I mean, in an ideal world, I'd love to see garbage twice a week and garbage once a week. I know that may not be financially possible, especially as we consider our older population who don't produce as much garbage as us. So that's definitely something to think about. But I do think that we need to revisit this conversation as we get closer to the end of
And
the
when the time
contract.
comes, we can put out the bid multiple ways and let contractors
Yeah.
bid on it and,
See what happens.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Motion for resolution number 25-228 for closed session, potential property acquisition. The Township Council anticipates that we will not be back after closed session. Motion to enter into closed session.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.